Yeah, we'll do. And talk real close and project.
CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
Yeah, because I really, I turn the voice on here. Okay, folks, we're live. We are live in living color. It's Monday night. I'm Dave Burman, the bald head guy, even though I do have hair, but the lights make me look bald here at the CMPRadio.net studios in Upland, Delco Sports 360. The good-looking guy with a full head of hair. To my right is Chris Edwards. And Chris, swallow that microphone for me, baby. That's what they call it in broadcasting. Get up close to that thing. Go ahead. All right. So, Chris, how you doing, man? Chris Edwards.
Well. How about yourself?
We're going to be good. We're talking high school football, really, in Pennsylvania with the scrimmages this past week. And I know you, former assistant coach at Strath Haven, you played at Strath Haven, won a state championship in the '99 season. So you know this team. We're going to start off with Strath Haven. You play at Interboro, according to my records right here. Strath Haven at Interboro. And that is going to be on Friday night, 7 o'clock. So the Panthers, Kevin Clancy, in year number
37.
Altogether, he was an Archbishop Carroll, Coach Clancy, 1982 to 1990. 9 years, 67, 39, and 2 ties. 1991 was his first year at Strath Haven, 31 seasons. 40 overall, and he's 265 wins, 104 losses, and I think a couple of ties in there somewhere, but 332, 14-3 all time. And what a job he has done over the years. You play for Coach Clancy. All right, first we're going to focus on this year's Strath Haven team, 2022. Lost a lot of good players, but it seems like the last couple of years they are reloading with the Panthers, the only program in the history of Delaware County to win a PIAA state championship, and you were part of it in '99.
Yeah, so last year was a promising year with the junior class that we had a lot of strong seniors with Chase Barlow. It's going to be hard to replace a kid like him, but you got Anthony Crawford. He's a fullback for Strath Haven. Chase Nangle, receiver, defensive back, primarily a defensive guy. Aiden Sutherland's another kid to look for. I think he jammed his hand up a little bit in maybe a practice or the last preseason game. Against Westchester East or Henderson. I think they play. We play the same people all the time,
right? With
these scrimmages.
Now, you had a scrimmage? I don't know who they scrimmaged.
I think that it was Westchester Henderson, or it was East. It was Westchester East this past Saturday. So,
all right.
I didn't go. I was working, but you got kids that are tough, like, Bobby Fuscus. You got Anthony Crawford. I said his name already. He missed 4 games last year, and he rushed for almost 1,000 yards last year as he missed 4 games. So
Incredible,
right, against Springfield, where the field goal kicker, we won by like a field goal, So
Right.
Anthony Crawford played with a broken leg that game, the whole game.
That's another.
That's impressive, So you got to, like, toughness. Like, that's what these kids need. And I know Billy Brown. I heard a lot of things about him, talking to some of the parents and talking to a couple of my friends that went to the scrimmage. A lot of young, rising, like, linemen that were. Will Luthold is another kid you'll probably hear about. Like, in the next 2 years, he's a big kid. He's probably like 6'3", 250, 260. Was sophomore last year, a little soft, had to grow into his body a little bit and kind of, come into his own. But, like, they're pretty big up front, which is surprising. We haven't had a really big team since, like, the 90s and the early 2000s when Dan Connor was there and,
Well, Zach Love and those guys.
Zach played with me. Yeah, Aaron Carter. We had a bunch of, guys that played Division I football and, coming through the program. So.
Another tough kid on those 99 and 2000 team, I believe, Scarpiniano.
Mike Scarpinato, yeah. He was a role player the 1 year when we won the States. I think he rotated in a lot on defense, primarily as like a nose tackle or nose guard. And, we had a lot of help too, like our backups were really good. In 99, we lost Mark Jones with some injuries, Pete Celebre, Matt Zangrilli. Like, we were playing with, like, second, third string running backs and winning.
Amazing.
Like, beating, like, Conestoga at Conestoga when Marcus Weeks was on the team. Like, and, like, we were doing our thing,
Yeah, and you guys were back then 3A. You played pretty much a 4A schedule.
Yeah.
4 was the biggest schools. Back to this year's team, how those kids, they're working their tails off. They see what the other guys are doing, and they probably see what Imhotep had. They lost to Imhotep in the state semifinals last year, 5A 36-0.
Yeah,
and we'll talk more about that. But they know what they have to do to make a deep run, win a District 1 5A championship. And I would like... I'm going to be a little biased right here. I want to see Chester Strathaven for a District 1 championship.
That would be phenomenal.
And, of course, I have to root for Chester. I'm the public address announcer for Chester High, okay? That's okay? We're not going to have any... Okay, but I love Strathaven because I graduated from Nether Providence. This can be a very tough job.
Yeah, so I agree with you in that regard. I think Chester's done a very good job in the past years. Coach Bell's a really good coach. A good friend of mine coaches at Chester. He talks so highly of him. He goes, you would fit in perfect down there. And I would love to help the program because, stepping away this year just to help my my oldest is getting involved with football. So I told my son, when he decided to play football, I would help him and coach his team and stuff like that. So I'm going to devote my energy to him.
Coach Bell is here. CM John Pierre, and he's downstairs, so he's going to let Coach Bell in. And speaking of Coach Bell, Marcella Rich on the thread there, that is his mother. And I still think she lives down in Washington, D.C. That's originally where Coach Bell's from.
Oh, really?
Washington, played against Berwick.
No way.
And
where did he play? DeMatha?
He played at Woodson.
Oh, Woodson?
H.D. Woodson, I do believe it was. There's 2 of them down there.
We used to play one of them when I worked at Glen Mills. I coached there, too.
Oh.
So we played, I think we played one of them teams from D.C.
So we could, and then we have checking in Amino Guns, right? Your eyesight's better than mine.
Yeah.
And Marcella, what did she do here? She's got the little thumbs up. Okay, there you go. So I guess I got my information correct. So Strathaven, it's... Last year, tremendous year. Of course, got beat up by Garnet Valley, who's always tough 6A. But they went to the state semis, and the younger guys have a lot of experience, and they saw what Imhotep has. And they're a little bit different. They can kind of bring guys in a little bit.
From wherever they want.
Yeah, well, they can only get them from Philly, though.
So that being said, it's one of the things. So that game, like being on the sideline, being a part of it, I saw a lot of fighting the kids. They didn't give up, which was good, and a lot of the kids took it personal, which is always a good sign that you have a really good upcoming juniors and seniors and stuff like that. Another kid I forgot to mention, his name's Ben Farbal. He's a really good wrestler too. He's a beast. He's long, he's tall. he could probably play Division I football if he put it like 20 or 30 pounds on, because he's fast, he's athletic, he's got a bunch of stuff going on for him. But he took it personal, which was he didn't give up. Like he's playing against guys who are 330 pounds, 300 pounds, and he's holding his own and he's fighting. Like, a lot of people look at that score and it doesn't reflect what the kids actually worked. They didn't give up, which was good. So it was one of those things I would have loved to see us punch it in.
Yeah, Chester did a 7-on-7 with Imhotep. I'm going to ask Coach Bell about that in a moment. Strathaven, who the quarterback is it going to be?
Sam Milligan.
Sam Milligan.
Yeah, again, he's a tough kid too. So he's the type of kid that
Multi-sport.
He won a district championship in
wrestling.
Right. He won a district championship in football.
Right.
And he could have won it in baseball again, but he won it in baseball the previous year. So, it's one of those things. He's just a tough kid. How you doing? He's a very, very tough kid, and it's good to see kids play multiple sports and be so good at them. Yeah.
Well, there's Coach Bell. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Edwards. He wants to be part of the staff. He's available now. But you have a bunch of guys right now. But maybe down the road, we'll see how it goes. All right. So. Yeah, all right. Coach Bell, your mom's checking in. Marcella Rich.
Mom Dukes, what's up?
You went to H.D. Woodson.
That's correct.
I'm right about that. That's
so when did you graduate?
I came out in 98.
So I used to work at Glen Mills.
Yes.
So you guys both played Berwick.
Oh, yeah.
Same year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Berwick
We
was
beat
tough,
Berwick.
man.
Yeah, we beat them in 98 up there, 14-10.
Tough space, ain't it?
Yeah, you just got to control the ball.
Absolutely.
And you got to get them to jump off sides.
Absolutely. It was an interesting experience for us, man. Having, Byron as our quarterback. Byron was just
Leftwich.
Yeah, he was a real deal.
Yeah.
And, me being a running
I would
back,
say he was the real deal.
Took some of the pressure off the backfield, so it was a great experience.
So that was, you graduated 98, so you played in 97.
Correct.
And I think I have that article, and you guys lost.
No, champions.
You beat Berwick.
No. We lost to Berwick. I thought you was talking about our year.
Yeah, run the
But you came
championship.
from DC. You came from DC though.
Born and raised.
Yeah, but that's so. I think when I coached at the Mills, that we used to play. I can't remember who it was. It was name some of the schools down there.
We played Berwick. We didn't play Glen Mills.
Berwick in 97.
97 Berwick.
And was that your only loss that year?
No, we finished. I believe it was 10-3 was our record.
You went up there. You went up. Who was on the team then?
Well,
when you played Gus Felder, he wasn't there. He came from Gratz. The previous, he came in after.
They had a D tackle, man. I believe he went to the Cowboys. I believe that number was 77, if I'm not
Chris,
mistaken.
you played against them.
Yeah, I did.
It was the same year, Coach.
Yeah.
97. Strath even ended up playing them in the state quarterfinals.
And we lost in Coatesville 7-0, torrential downpour, and we ran the ball in to tie it up, and they called him dead.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
Dan Mulhern ran it in, and
Berwick won it all.
It was a live ball.
Yeah, I know. I
was live.
I saw the highlights.
Like,
you guys have something in common. You both played against the Berwick team.
We played 3 years in a row, though.
Oh, yeah?
So we always played them in the States, and we had to get to them to get to the final. So
the first year we went, I believe the ending score the first year, it was kind of a surprise. Like our coach, he wanted to give us a culture shock. So he's like, we're going to travel.
That's a culture shock.
Absolutely. We're going to travel to Berwick. Didn't even know this team. And the final of that score, I believe it was 26-22.
That's a good game.
Yeah, it was a great game. And great experience for us. The next year, though, they put a hammer on us.
Well, they were always ranked in the nation, too. So that was always when you went out there, it was always it was like boys against men, because the way and they weren't always big.
Right.
They were just well coached.
Yeah.
George Curry
was
so
a
you
great
both
coach.
played against him.
Yeah, so Cody Hall was a kid from Philly that went to Berwick, just like Gus Felder did. So you know Cody because he went to JMU. He played against you. I think he was a running back with maybe, I don't know what he played, but I coached with him at the Mills, and he's involved with football. But he always talks, smack about how Berwick. Yeah, but you got the Wilkesboro kids, and then you got big Gus Felder coming from Simon Gratz or one of them out there, and goes to Penn State and plays in the NFL for a little bit.
It's amazing you guys have that in common there. I'm sure some other things in common too. Yeah. So you're almost you're 2 years young.
I'm 40. I'll be 41 in
so
October.
You're 30.
I'm 42.
Yeah, okay, so we're only a year apart.
Yeah. But that was before the private schools really got in. Well, you played at a private school, so you
No, that
was
H.D.
public.
Woodson. It is public.
Yeah.
So you had your own public league championship.
Yes.
Did you play against a Catholic League champ down there?
No, we.
It would beat the math of that, right?
Our rivalry was Anacostia. You know, when we were coming up, you had some serious league opponents. You know, we had Anacostia, we had Eastern, we had Ballou, but Anacostia and HD, man, they went to war. You know, so that was definitely our rivalry.
So, yeah. Okay. LaDonte Bell, head coach. What's that?
Dunbar,
And the
absolutely.
Fennis said that
Dunbar.
Glenn used to play H.D. Woodson and Dunbar, so we
Yeah.
played both these.
And we did play Dunbar, but Anacostia and Wilson were really the true competition during that time.
So is it still very good football down there?
Absolutely.
The public?
Absolutely.
Well, in Philadelphia, it's a little bit down because they lose a lot of their kids to the Catholic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
let's keep it a speed, man. That's
Yeah,
what
okay.
it is.
All right. But there's but the Catholic schools, a lot of the kids. So and I know Northeast is still goes. So we're going to talk about Central, who you guys play public league, and All right. So Chris, Strath Haven this year.
Yeah.
All right. Again, I'm hoping a District 1 championship. Strath Haven, Chester.
That would be awesome.
And I said, since I'm the public address announcer for Chester,
You'd
I'm
have to
rooting for
root
Chester.
As you should.
Yeah, like I was rooting for Coatesville. I had to do Coatesville at Chester last year, and I'm PA guy for Coatesville and Chester. So that day I was pulling for Chester, and nobody's giving me any problems.
Nobody ever, when you coaching at Glen Mills for the short period of time that I was there, it was like playing Saturday games was always hard for our kids, because our kids at Glen Mills came from all over the country. So it was one of those things where, they're very regimented to a time to, like, Friday night. Saturday morning, like, they get to sleep in a little, you know what I mean? They don't have to do details and stuff like that. Coming down it was always hard for us to play Chester when, Chuck Cruz was the coach. Now he's at Williamsport, I think.
He just left.
Yeah, so Chuck Cruz was the head coach, and he also was a Glen Mills guy. So it was one of those things where it was always like, it was so hard to play on a Saturday for us there, right? So coming down, a lot of the kids never got like the credit that they should get. Like the program was never. It could always be somewhere because of the numbers and everything, and who was there. Because I played with Jameer Rashid. I played with him at Delaware.
There you go.
He was. Ghost was probably one of the. He was good. Like he was a good athlete.
Delco player of the year.
Delco. Yeah, his brother was, not him.
Oh, Najee.
Yeah, Najee was the player of the year.
Delco player of the year.
But just like the program, like what comes out of that, and it's like to see what you've done. I would love to see Chester play a team that's been doing it for years because we have the pool, and not saying that you guys don't, but it's like you guys have so many more obstacles to get where you need to be with these kids. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You pick them up, you take them to practice, you make sure they're at workouts.
Oh, this is great.
It's a full-time gig. Like it's a gig, man. It's not like it's not like you're a coach. You're almost like a surrogate dad, a brother, a friend, like a neighborhood guy. Like it's hard because like these kids have so many obstacles to get to practice, and to see you guys winning.
Yeah.
And like some of the kids that are like Jay shows me a lot of things. I'm like, hey, I could work with that kid. You know what I mean?
It's consistency, man. I and I'm gonna tell you right now, I won't take full credit. Of course, me being a head coach, and I know my coaches hear this and probably listening. It's definitely not me. It's all of us, and we do have a part to play in it. So it's an even share, man. Like as the head coach, I lean to my assistant coaches and always asking questions, try my very best to keep, the line of communication open with them, and let them lead. I mean, I think that I've learned some things over the years that true leadership is not the one that's always at the limelight. You know, it's like take the back, let those guys, do what they need to do. So, shout out to all of our coaches, Chester High School football, man. Shout out to every last one of them. And I'm thankful that we have a coaching group that are unselfish.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, it's really about our student athletes, and so I will leave it at that. That everything we do is student athlete centered. That's just what it is.
I mean, you got a guy like Peach that's been around for years.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember him being at the Hero Bowl practice and just cutting it up with us. You know what I mean? Just like being around them, and like you see some of these similar faces. And I'm sure if I saw some of the guys, I know who they are just by face and name. But I was so far removed. Like when I left Glen Mills, I went on to like, teach in the Philadelphia school district system, and then I coached at Marple Newtown.
Okay.
And I got out of it because I had kids. And so this past year, I went through like, I moved back here after I got divorced, so I came down here, and I wanted to get involved again. So I thought it was like the perfect time because like my kids are like wanting to play sports. Like I never push them. I just show them. And then it says, hey, if you want to play, well, when you decide to play, I'll stop coaching. I'll coach you.
That's it.
Yeah, so that's what I did this year. So, we used to live out in Havertown. We're playing for the Haverford Ford program. It's a good program. I'm doing it because my old neighbor, good friend of mine, is the head coach, and he needed help. So I was like, we'll play. Yeah. My son will get involved, but it's like one of those things where, coaching football, I'm off target here, off subject, but coaching football, like especially like where you guys are at, like to see like, I watch like the Instagram stuff, I watch everything, and just to see like the positivity coming out of it, like these kids take pride in that Exit 6 stuff, like that's huge, like because I mean like for me growing up around here and knowing what Chester was, it was always basketball. Now to see that like footprint in football and like some of the people you guys are playing and like just like what you're putting out, like you guys got some really good like football players. Like when you look at that film, I watched some of the clips Jay showed me, like against Emotep, like you got kids that are 330 pounds, and you got a kid from Chester that's a sophomore or junior that's sitting them up. Yeah, sitting them up, and it's like. Yeah, like
well, it's homegrown, man.
Yeah,
of course, I'm not from Chester, but I'm married in this thing. My wife, shout out to Markeisha. She's a graduate of Chester High School '97, and but we really invest in our players. And what we told them prior to that MOTEP matchup was that they're just the same.
Yeah, 100%.
And truly, we got some guys that are developing our players. With all three organizations within the city, we're doing our very best to make sure that we all stay together, man. That's important because the students really see if we're genuine or not, and I'm really one that I do my very best to keep the negatives away from our program, man. It's too many negative things going on anyway, so the only way we can move is forward with positivity. So everything is about our student athletes, to what they eat, to what they wear, to how they, how we prepare them to be in front of the camera. That's just vital information that we see on this side that we can develop them as they prepare for the collegiate level. So everything is about them, everything.
That's why I like what you're doing. I think you're doing a fantastic job since you took over. I think the kids see it, the numbers show. I did Jay's roof right before he moved into his house, and he's like, oh, I gotta leave. I gotta do like a Zoom call. And I thought I was laughing a little bit because like, he's like a part-time coach, but whoever the other coach is, like he's taking accountability. Yeah. And like the kids were like, I'm sorry I'm late. And like, Jay's getting text messages from kids like, I can't figure this out. So like that right there shows that it's positivity. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they're not making excuses because they want to be on it, So it's like that's huge. Like
Coach Jason, man, Coach Jason McCarthy is a gem. We're not. Let me just say this: we're not even talking money. Not for one coach. We're not even talking about that. We're talking family.
Yeah.
And Jason really focuses on our student athletes and their academics. I'll get a text or email like 12 midnight, 1 in the morning, and I'm just like, Jason, go to sleep. But he's that concerned about our students.
Because he wants to win.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not only win, but he just has a genuine heart for the kids.
Well, he does. He's a really they call him Big Happy, so he's he's got a really good heart. Yes, like this shirt here, I was sweating in his basement. I had to give me another one because we ran a. He's a really good guy. I think that, and that's where it all stems from. It's like like when you get put in situations, especially like when you can like build something and build on it, it's like a blessing almost because it's like. Yeah, like these kids are buying in, and they like want to win.
That's all we ask, man. We're here to really, help them catapult their career and humble. And that's I can only share, what I am. Nothing sugar-coated, flake. Humble to be where I am to help our youth out, man. Especially in a troublesome space, we're helping young men to really see the light. So I'm just thankful for the opportunity, thankful for our coaches, thankful for where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, man. It's like I think everybody that's involved or has been around Delco sports appreciates everything that you've done, because the kid, I've only heard great things about you. So it's one of the things, he goes, if you ever want to coach, you would love to coach here.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's Jay, but he knows how I am. And he knows, I have a different way about me, when it comes to, fundamentals and stuff like that, where, working at Glen Mills and teaching those kids, coaching them, everything had to be from the ground up.
Yeah.
So that's how I coach football to this day. So it's once the kids get to a point, they coach themselves.
Right.
So if you're getting in the postseason and you're winning your league championship, it's what are we doing here now? Mm-hmm. You're just watching, and then when they come over and they tell you, okay, well, fix it.
Yeah.
Because now they're fundamentally sound, and it's one of the things when kids know that and they know they have that little bit of ability where they could be great.
Yeah.
They're coaching themselves.
Absolutely, and that's what we look for.
Yeah.
We share that often in the locker room about our young men being leaders. And in order for them to be a leader, we got to push them. And so, I'm quick to tell someone that I really don't care about football. I know that's hard for people to hear.
I don't really care about it either.
Yeah, it's
more of a family thing for me.
It is. It's a vehicle, man. If it wasn't for football, I don't think I would be in PA. If it wasn't for football, I probably wouldn't be here. I think sports really helped me to get out of the inner city, out of D.C., to experience the world. I've seen a lot of things in D.C.
Yeah.
Been around some people that, could have really took me in the wrong direction. So, in saying all that, when I see our players, I see me.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me push them forward to better themselves.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's touching, too. I really
appreciate that.
It means a lot to me, too, because, coaching just this 1 year at Strath Haven, hearing the kids say, you've only been with us for a year, but it wasn't about football with you. It was about, hey, how's school going?
Yep.
Hey, what's going on? You good? Blah, blah, blah. Just small talk.
Yeah.
Cutting it up with them and just trying to, get to know them. And, to hear that from kids that I just met.
Yeah.
They talk about every coach and they save the best for last, right? They all talk about Coach Hollingsworth. And I went, right before that. So that to me, it's kind of touching to hear that, because with me, it was the ability to play football. Yeah. I worked hard.
Right.
I wanted it. I wanted to win. I wanted to play at the next level. I wanted it more than the next person next to me. I played hard. Yeah. And seeing these kids work and do things that are great. Mm-hmm. It's how do you motivate them and hit them in the right direction? It's easier to do it in Chester, I think, than it is at Strath Haven, because the kids at Chester, they want to prove everybody wrong with their ability. We're winning now. Right. We want to stay on top.
Yeah, there are struggles. The reason why I say I don't care about football is because at one point I did, and when I cared most about football, we weren't winning.
Yeah.
It was man, we got to win this game. Get the play in. But then I had to sit still and see what was going on. Before we can tell that player, go run 1,000 miles per hour, did you eat? Did you get rest?
Yeah.
How mom do?
Did you drink enough water today?
How was your sleep?
Yeah.
It's now we're focusing on the player.
Yes.
And what's under that helmet would that stuff will take care of it.
Because once the kids see that, they feel the love, and it's
Absolutely.
And that's so powerful, because it's with me, it wasn't about, it's never about that, because you can win, you can lose, but when you lose, you got to figure out how to win.
Absolutely.
And you got to, all the wrinkles you got to figure out. And as coaches too,
and I will share this. Although I say I don't care about football, there are persons around the organization, the program, that are in love with the X's and O's. So I'm blessed to have those guys in space, in the places that they're in the spaces they're in. Shout out to Anthony Moss, Sam as our DC, Lamar Shaw as our OC, Dennis Shaw, who's our assistant head coach. Coach Peach is our walking.
Yeah, Peach is the man.
It's so many. We got so many coaches, man, and they know. Just forgive me if I haven't, announced all their names. That's really not what it's about. But we're family as coaches, and and we want to make sure that the players
See that.
That's be the example. The coaches will know. If I say it right now, they be the example. And so that's just what we have in our locker room.
Like just be together.
That's it.
Togetherness. And that's what football is. It's one of the. I mean, I think it's the best team sport to play. Like hands down. So you said a lot of things like playing football, getting out of your situation. It's like, playing me growing up here and playing football at Strath and having an opportunity to play college football and starting at a Division I school and winning a national championship was one of those things where like people are like, they're like, oh my God, like I'm like, yeah, but
that's
like
major, man.
It is, but at the end of the day, it's like, well, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So like when you sit in a room and you're getting recruited to play football somewhere and you see some of the bodies that are there and you see what they look like, you see their energy. I knew when I went to Delaware, we were going to win a national championship. I just knew that, just by the people that were around me.
That's right.
So it's one of those things. So like even at the highest level of football, right? Like you talked about, like I can go Coach Flood, like he's the offensive coordinator at Texas now. He coached me at Delaware. He was like, "Did you eat today?"
Yeah.
Because he knows if I don't eat, I'm angry.
That's right.
So like,
and it's you try to move it, and I say it all the time. It's really elementary, but go move your car without gas.
Yeah, you can't.
That's just it's the basics, man.
Yeah, you need to make sure you can fuel that machine to get production out of it, right? So it's one of those things where, learning, like if I knew what I knew now, and I could go back and rewind the watch, I don't think me and you'd be sitting here talking because I'd probably be retired somewhere, enjoying myself. Like I'm enjoying myself now, but it's like one of those things where, we always take things for granted as like teenagers and even as we get older. So it's like, I don't know. It's like playing football is just a tool to get you to the next area of life.
It's a vehicle, man.
So it's one of those things where it's like, like you pray that kids can get Division I scholarship, even if they went Division II. You know what I mean? I remember there was a kid in the Fennis, if he's on here, he remembers the kid that went to Central Michigan. What was his name?
Dill.
Yeah, the D lineman.
Well, I mean, he's one of your coaches.
Who was that?
It's
DeAndre?
Yeah.
Says,
Does he teach at the school now?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't teach at the school. That's one of the things that I love about our coaching staff, man. Like, Coach Terry, who's our former DC, he assembled a coaching staff on his side of the ball.
Yeah.
Coach Lamar assembled a coaching staff on his side of the ball. And that's the autonomy they have. It's my job is to make sure we're structured, make sure that everything is about our players, and allow them to do what they need to do. What tools you need, go get it, and make sure that everything is about the player. That's something that I really stress. No one's bigger than the brand, not even myself. And I repeat that wherever I go. And I think that's why we're successful is because we cannot be selfish, But yeah, man, that's just what it is. I'm transparent.
How long have you been the head coach?
This is my 6th year.
Yeah. So like you said, like you wanted to win, and like the first year you're like, we got to win. Like that's like anything. You're a competitor, right? So you're what 36 years old when you become the head coach here, and it's like, we got to win. I got to prove everybody wrong.
Nobody even knew who I was.
Yeah.
So they're like, who is this guy? And I'm getting all these questions, but I've never been a guy that wanted to, like the light. Nope. And I share that even today in our locker room. You got to play and act like you've been there before. So when our guys score, man, get the ball to the ref, say I'm coming back. It's one of those like you're going to understand my presence because I'm going to be consistent in what I do.
So name some of the kids because I know Jay throws a lot of names at me. Like you guys got a lot of big kids. Some of them are like.
Jason and our assistant coaches, man, I'm gonna be honest. I call kids by their last names. And when you're new to me, I got to learn who you are.
Yeah,
that's just something.
Way.
That's something I learned when I was working, in detention and things like that. That I just call students or kids by their last name. But for our captains, man, we got Colin Farrell. We have Noble Thompson. Who's our starting linebacker. I mean, this kid is
how big is he?
Noble is about 5. I wouldn't give him 5'8". For all you guys trying to recruit him, 5'10".
He's a fire plug.
Yeah, about 220. No, but no. Listen, this young man is he's a stud, man. I mean, his dad put him in, and shout out to Charles Thompson with the Panthers. His dad put him in wrestling, him and his twin, Lil Chuck. And these guys are great tacklers. So here he is as a middle linebacker. I mean, he's aggressive. And he has an eye for the ball. He's a hitter. Then we have Molokai Holmes. This kid is fast. You guys.
Is that the kid with the
twist?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fast.
I saw him on Instagram. Yeah, he's fast. He talks. I like it.
And I try not to really. I don't like to give them, tell them too much about themselves. But they're good kids, man. And who am I missing?
How about my super sophomore, Nari Melvin?
So Nari is one that we focus on just to make sure that he stays the course, man. All coaches, especially Dennis, loves him. We just want to make sure that he understands the game. As a freshman, he put in some major work, and so we want to make sure that in this upcoming season that we protect him. I know he hurt his leg last year, so we're just doing exercises and things like that to keep his body ready for war. So Nari is going to be a true animal. If we can keep him focused on the game, focused academically, that's most important. With the academics, we can see him playing in the latter part of the season. So Nari is going to be something to watch this year.
Okay,
He's a sophomore. How big?
Yeah.
Who's that dude? I think it was your left guard. Who's the left guard?
Staples?
Staples our tackle, left tackle.
Okay.
He's a big kid, right?
Staples?
Somebody's like 6'3", 285.
Jerry Young.
Yeah, Jerry. We call him Big Baby. So I got some nicknames.
There's Little Baby and Big Baby.
Yeah, Big Baby. So Kyron Staples is Fat Boy, and Jerry Young is Big Baby.
Okay.
They're best friends, and Jerry is one that he doesn't even know his strength. He's one that we really talk to day in and day out just to make sure that he understands the game.
Yeah.
He's one that's still trying to find himself. And matter of fact, all of them are, but. We call him Big Baby, and I'm telling you, once he understands the game,
be a beast.
Oh man,
Jerry came up
like when you see like technique wise, like Jay showed me a video, and I'm all meat and potatoes when it comes to it. And I see your kids, and it's like, you got an MO type kid that's from probably Delaware County or Philly, somewhere. They're from all over, Dave. We don't have to. We know that, all right. You're looking at me, but.
True. This is true.
They're from all over.
Let's keep it honest. Let's keep it honest.
So,
Absolutely.
Seeing your kids set up for like a pass block, and those pass one-on-ones, it's not designed for your kids to win, right? Yeah. It's always designed for the defense. They're teeing it up. They got no help. It's one-on-one, bull rush, bull and pull, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But like your kid, I don't know who, like it was a big kid from Emma, that they're all big, and I see your kid just fighting. He's fighting. And if he just like sits a little, like sits back, spreads his feet, he wins. It's like little things like that, because like your kids, like Jay was like, if we fine tune some stuff, we can beat these guys.
It's all in the details, and that was a part of our team meeting today. Just it's about the details. Football is really about the details. You win the game by inches.
Yeah,
and so it's really
a little luck too.
Yeah,
there's some luck in there too.
I will call execution luck and luck execution.
Football gods that's what they call it, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because we had the football gods on our side when we won the district championship game, because Sinclair thought we told our kids to jump off sides twice.
Oh yeah,
they just wanted to block. They wanted to win. And then like he's like, you're cheating. No, we're not. Like, and then like they got a good running back. It's like whatever. But I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I think that it's in the details. We talk about how we went against MOTEP. We're telling our players, like, listen, man, that's why I always tell them, don't feed into the hype, Yeah,
don't be scared. Don't punch it right in the face.
Yeah, don't feed into the hype. Know your fundamentals. And may the best man win that war at that time, or that battle at that time.
You're going to get another chance to come back.
Absolutely. And I don't want to, like we talked about Nari, some of those guys in the backfield, like Jabrie Davis, man. Jabrie, he's a stud. We talk about kids that run the ball. I call them the bus. I had to let them know. I had to educate them a little bit. Do you know who the bus is? Yeah. Do you know who the bus is? And so he'd sit back and he'd say, Coach, I looked at some video. I'm like, man, that's who you are. Like, just keep running that way. And we have Jeremiah Gates. We call him Shake, or his nickname is Shake. Shake is he's a humble beast, man. Matter of fact, he's not even humble. When he puts his helmet and shoulder pads on,
he's a beast.
He goes to war. And
that's what it's all about.
Look for him to come back real soon.
So some of these kids, right? Like I'm gonna come to one of your games, and I'll probably ask you if I can stand on the sideline because I don't know anybody. I would just stand there and watch the game.
Right. The Clippers open up
Who do you open up with?
11 o'clock in the morning this Saturday against Central High School from the Philadelphia Public League. All right.
That's South Philly, right? Central?
It's right in Central Philly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have, and I want to leave out my other captain, Samir. Samir's an athlete. You know, it's going to be some.
Yeah, Dave. They got height weights there. I want to see all this.
Here's the entire. Actually, LaDante, you're going into your 7th year already.
Am I?
Yeah.
He knows more than us.
What, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Correct.
There you go.
Correct.
And now you work at the school too?
I do.
What do you do at the
I'm
school?
athletic director as well.
That's awesome.
Here we go, Chris. I love this interview. This is great. You guys talk. You're a great interview guy, Chris.
No, I'm just having. I like.
How'd you learn to talk so much?
I like. There's a vibe here.
All right, good. I love
like
it.
The whole
Go ahead.
Chester thing, man.
I'll let you go, but I might have some questions because all right. Can we go back to Strath Haven real quick here?
Yeah.
Because I want to know how they're going to go against Interborough, who struggle, and Interborough will play Chester later.
So last year, Interborough, it was like, you get a little nervous like when you coach. And like with me coming back home, it was one of those things like you get like a little, like you get butterflies, you kind of get like, it's like the feeling when you were playing. You run out and like, you feel it.
I use a lot of like, and I wish I had my film. I have some film, but I hate to talk about myself, but I was good. And, I had a conversation with Byron. He gave me tickets. I came out or went out to see him. He's like, man, you should be here. I mean, you had the skill set.
Yeah.
When I ran the ball, I ran like I was scared. I wasn't the biggest guy. So when I ran hard, and one person couldn't tackle me.
It was a gang tackle.
You was going to get a juke move and goodbye.
Yeah.
And so, and I had hands.
Where did you play college football?
I went to Cheney. I wasn't going to go to school, man. I'm gonna be honest. I worked.
CU, baby.
That's say it again. That's what I'm talking about. But I worked at Safeway, similar to Giant, Acme.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know what? I'm gonna go to school. And this was right around the time we had our All-Star game. I wasn't even gonna play in that. I was just like, I'm just gonna work and I'm good. So I played in the All-Star game, and a coach comes and talks to me after the All-Star game. Hey, would you like to come play, football at the college level? I'm like, cool. He says, I'm the coach for Cheney University.
Who was the coach then?
John Parker was my coach. Military guy, man. I mean, a lot of things that we do behind the scenes with our program, I got those things from him. I mean, I don't want to go into detail. I'm not giving up our ingredients, but, we were really up early in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm talking running with the deer looking at you.
Yeah, Cheney.
So a lot of those things is breaking the player down and building back up mentally.
Yeah.
So, the early morning rise to, man, I got to get the workouts. And, some programs don't do that. They'll 3 hours and we're out.
Yeah.
All day, I need your attention. And so I gained those things from John Parker.
Yeah, it's like, everybody that touches you in the football world, it's like you take a little bit from every coach that ever coached you. So
Absolutely.
It's like, now it's like such a small world. Even coaching at like a 10, 12-year-old level, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like super fundamental football.
Yeah.
Like I have to do some self-talk. Like I gotta all right, now I gotta it's fundamental. Like I gotta make sure these kids. It's not about my kids. It's about the other kids. So, then you talk to some of the other coaches that are coaching like 12, 13 kids, like the 12-year-olds and the 13-year-old kids. Like this guy Pete, he played football at I forget his last name. He played football at Temple. He's from. You probably know him, Dave. He's from New York. He played football at Temple. I think he played with Brian Leftwich's head coach, Bruce Arians. He played for him when Arians was the head coach at Temple.
I can't even think. I remember Bruce at Temple in the 80s. Yeah,
he was in this guy Pete, and like his two kids, his twin boys that are linemen, and like he's like, oh, you played at Delaware? Was Kyle Flood your coach? I was like, yeah, Kyle's a really good friend of mine too. Like, he's like, oh, we need to get in front of him. I'm like, well, like your kids need to finish drills and they need to make sure they have their first step is good, and they can put their second foot down and they got their thumbs up, palms up, and they can hit somebody, right? So it's like, it's fundamental football. Like you can't tell a 13-year-old kid like that he's a Division I football player. You know if he is because of the work ethic and what they put into the practice, right? So it's one of those things where, it's hard for me to sometimes like look at something and take my perspective and my things out of it, like how I feel, because I work differently than some of these kids did, just like you, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, when you see a kid like Mark Jones, like you knew he was going to be a stud because he started as a freshman and he did everything as a freshman at Strath Haven, and he went on to play Tennessee and play in the NFL. So you knew he had it. Mm. Like that's a special person. Yeah. A kid like Kevin Jones, out of Chester, went to O'Hara. He's a special individual too. Mm-hmm. He had it. He had the body. He had the feet. He had everything. He had the heart. He could play. He played hard. But you can't tell the 13-year-old kid that he's going to be a Division I football player, and we didn't even have fall practice yet. And you're a sixth grader or seventh grader playing middle school football. I want to speak into that.
We spoke about how you have persons that will say that they have a D1 player. Man, I'm gonna draw that back, bring the line back that you're not a D1 player unless you have D1 grades. A lot of people speak about I'm going to a D1 school. You got to have the grades, man. I mean, that's your we all have a credit score. That's your credit score as a student athlete. And if you don't have the grades, what are we talking about? So I just want to put that out there. A lot of young men, a lot of families want to see their child go to these big schools, but are they putting in the work behind the scenes? That's major.
That's the hardest part, man.
Yeah,
because
that's
you
just
can have
what
all
it
the
is.
ability and you can't be eligible to play on a Friday
that's
or Saturday.
what it is, man. That's what it is. There's no getting around it. There are some kids who are really good but don't have the grades. Okay, D2, PSAC. Great conference.
PSAC's a great school.
Great conference, right?
You played? Cheney,
great
CEO.
Conference. Well, Cheney let go of the program, but you still have some great programs in PSAC.
Well, they let go of the program when?
That was a couple of years ago, believe it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, but and you don't want to because you got guys like Terrell Owens that went to Tennessee, Chattanooga. The only reason I know that is because we played down there in 2003 to win the championship. So like when I was down there, I saw everything. I took it all in, right? Yeah. So I don't know. I totally agree with you because my parents, he knows my mom and dad, and I wasn't the smartest, book smart. I was more like a hustler, just a hardworking kid, right? So I remember the SAT, right? Mm-hmm. They did the ACT too. Yeah. So I was like, yo, man, I just need an 890 to play Division I football. I got above 890. I was like, I'm in there. Yeah. I'm not taking. I don't need to take it no more. Yeah. I'm not trying. I wasn't a genius, but I knew what I needed to get. Yeah. Just to get those scholarships coming in. When I got the number, I was like, I'm good.
Absolutely. To all parents, make sure that if your child wants to play sports at the collegiate level, ACT.
It's the best.
It's the way to go. SATs are good, but ACTs are the way to go. And not only that, make sure that they get registered with NCAA Clearinghouse. I mean, a lot of those things
early on because it takes forever.
A lot of those things helps your registration, helps your process for your student athletes. So just wanted to plug that in. That's so important. Not many people know about that, and so you got to have the NCAA Clearinghouse form, registration, the whole nine, the numbers, and so forth. So.
Yeah, so I was one of those guys, just to let you know. When I hit that number, I was like, my dad's like, I think you get 400 just for writing your name. I was like, oh, well, I'm good. You know what I mean? No, but that's the type of kid I was because once I got that number, then I was like, yo, now it's time to play. Now let's focus on what I need to focus on here. It was always school. Yeah. And, when you go to college, it's like you get there and it's like, wow, there's a lot of people here. Yeah. Oh, man, there's no accountability. I can do what I want.
That's it. And so that's a part of our program where I say football is that vehicle.
Yeah.
But you got to know how to handle yourself at these.
Once you get there.
Oh, man. You get lost. You can get lost.
Even at Cheney, you get lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's all new, you know? And so going to Delaware was I'd walk to class and be like, you got 1,000 kids in this. They ain't taking it. So I was like,
they're not worried about it.
Yeah, they're not worried about it. But you get caught up in that sometimes because you think you're untouchable, right? So it's, it always goes back to accountability. And, when your coaches coach you, like your coach at Cheney, instilled those things into you. It was one of those things where, my coach, my position coach at Delaware, when we were messing up, he was getting us.
Who was that?
Kyle Flood.
Oh, okay, right.
So, if I missed a workout or something because I had, something you would have to go to treatment. if you missed treatment at 5:30, you had accountability.
Can you say that again to these kids? They
treatment.
need to hear that.
If you missed treatment,
they need to hear that.
Yeah, if you missed treatment, you had accountability.
That's
So
right.
the next morning, he was knocking on my door at 5:30 in the morning, and we would go and we would have to work out. Then he would do treatment with me, and then he would say, "Don't miss it again," right?
Yeah.
Because like, and now I'm like 18, 19. Now even as an adult, like when you're 20, 21 playing college sports, it's like, you got that solid object around you where he's only 13 years older than me. So he's still kind of figuring himself out a little bit. Just became a dad.
Right.
He has to raise a kid. Now he's coaching football at a nice school. Goes to Rutgers, becomes the head coach, gets fired because of some BS. Quits football for about 2 years. He's an announcer with ESPN. Then he gets hired by the Atlanta Falcons. He goes there. Quinn hires him as the run game coordinator. Nick Saban calls him the next day. Gives him an offensive line coach down in Alabama. Coached there for 3 years. Now he's the offensive coordinator at Texas. So it's like, he started from the bottom.
Yeah.
Like he like his story is like crazy. Like, and like he was one of the biggest mentors I had. Like, he was hard to like, right? Military background. His father was a police officer in New York City. His brother was on the SWAT team there. Like, we would play Hofstra, and we would go over to Verrazano Bridge, and we'd be sitting in traffic. He called his brother on SWAT. There was 5 SWATs there. Got us right over the bridge in like 15 minutes.
Oh, man.
Guns out, everything. Like,
I like
he's
it.
like, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, because we had to
that's
get
awesome.
there. So that's what I'm saying. So, like, he's that type of person. So he's real family-oriented. Kind of like everything you're doing, he has done that his whole life.
Wow.
So he found a way, right? Like, so once you find a niche in coaching and how you coach, it stays with you like that because it's not about, like you said, there's guys like that are X's and O's. I'm not going to watch film. I'm going to watch the player. And that's how I am. So
You just, you said it. You said it.
So my thing is this, like, I would coach with a couple guys and he'd be like, I was like, yeah, I watched a little bit, but like when I went and saw him play, I just watched that player. And I see, like, even in warm-ups, like if I'm watching a team, like, we played Academy Park in the playoffs. They came out with like they do what they do, right? Like, and I'm like, and our kids are like looking at him, I'm like, don't worry about him. The guy that's wearing a chain ain't going to do nothing, The kid, you know what I mean? Like, but you got to tell kids like that sometimes because sometimes it's like a psychological thing.
It's all mental,
Yeah,
man.
so like, it's all mental, right? Yeah. So the kid that was really good on AP this year was that I think he played 3 technique. He was a little skinny, fast kid. He tore us up, boy. Like, I tell you what, like like if you surrounded some good role players with him, and he was on a team that, like, not saying that AP's good, like they
Academy
did their
Park.
thing. Academy Park.
I'm trying to think who the kid is.
I forget his name. He was an athlete, and he was a freak. Like, I was like, I got a little worried about him because, like, like we're big, we're like physical team, and but you can't beat speed. Like, if that kid's getting off the ball and you can't block, I forget his name, but the kid was good.
Maybe you know,
what
Coach.
number?
He was a single-digit number, I think. Jason would know because I think he just played D-line against us that game. I don't know. There was a couple of good athletes there, man. Like, they kind of scared us a little bit.
Quarterback was Fields.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Young man that played in the Hero Bowl.
It was
he
probably him.
graduated.
He was taller.
African kid.
Yeah.
You know who it is.
Sonogo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sonogo.
Yeah, he's a good athlete.
Okay.
Kid's a freak. So,
Yeah.
you see this stuff, and it's
Matter
like,
of fact, I believe he just went to Cal U, if I'm not mistaken, right?
where?
Did he go to Cal U? I believe so.
What's that?
Sonogo.
What's Cal U? Is that that's a Division II school?
The
right?
That's
Vulcans,
PSAC.
yeah.
That's
PSAC, yeah.
I'm trying. I think I did see him in the uniform, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it's like playing against those kids. It's like,
The kid was a stud, man.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you see these kids; they're coming from Delaware County,
Yeah.
and it's like you see the Emotep. Like, and I got mad love for Emotep. I think the coach does a good job there.
Former Strath Haven great, Patrick Fisher, right?
Who's that?
One of the assistants for Imhotep.
When did he play at Strath Haven?
Patrick, 2010-ish, the really good 2010 team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I kind of lost track when I moved, but like
Okay. Well, yeah.
I might have said hello to him. I don't know.
So last year they won the district championship. He gets on my case a little bit
Okay.
Sorry.
because I start saying the private schools.
The last year they won the district championship. was when he
2010.
played? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we won it a lot, Dave, so it's hard to keep track of that
Yeah,
stuff.
I know. You guys won it 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004?
He does.
Four?
I don't remember.
Well, Dan Connor. All right, so you open up. Tell me about the Central Lancers.
So
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
$5 a
Saturday.
ticket Saturday.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. It's like, listen, man, like, I'm going to say something. Like, I think you're doing a great job. Just from, like, reading, like, I don't really read the newspaper. I just watch Instagram or whatever. And, like, the coaches, Pierre, who's the guy that does the film again? What's his name?
He does.
No, it's another dude that does it. He plays.
Oh, yes, God.
Yeah, him. He does a great job.
Yeah.
Basketball.
It's crazy. Like, the amount of support that these kids have, it's amazing. Like, you know, all the alumni, like how like they flood the programs with alumni.
Homecoming.
It's like
Homecoming is
the
major,
Sea Pride
man.
stuff. Like, it's always like I remember as a kid, like going to the Chester Penwood basketball game because my dad refed it all the time. And it was like a different animal down there. It was like, the girls are like cheerleading or banging. And like, I loved it because it's like, that to me was like electric because like you got kids running up and down the court playing. I mean, you got Jameer Nelson, you got everybody. I can't remember everybody's name, but like
Yeah, when you, Jameer, your year.
Jameer was my year, so it's one of those things where
I could
it's
go
like,
on and on there.
We have it's a tremendous amount of talent in the city of Chester.
It is.
And it's just one of those where I'm gonna say it, man. We just got to keep our kids home, you know. And I share that with my heart that we care about our student athletes. And not saying that other places don't, but we know why other places look for our student athletes. When people come into our backyard, we know why, you know. But the minute something goes wrong, we know why they're back. And so let's keep that what it is, you know. Stop using student athletes for your gain. You know, we're dealing with young men and young ladies' futures, man. So I'm gonna put that out there. You know, that I'm serious about that. You know, I can't see myself telling a parent, telling a family, lying to a family what I can offer them, then turn around, they have a outstanding bill, and that child is now in the public school system having to deal with that, that situation. We've seen it already, so this is not fluff, so we just got to stop doing it, to people, man. That's not good. Mm-hmm. But we open up on Saturday, versus Central. We look forward to this game. I got some frat brothers talking a lot of stuff, man. So I got to, shout out to my frat, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. We got some guys that have graduated from Central who are talking a lot of stuff. It's nothing for me to say.
Really?
Nothing.
Oh, Central you have some Central? No.
No, his friends
my
went to
friend-
Central.
Oh, from
So
Cheney.
Yeah.
I never spoke. We never spoke. Where I'm from, we don't even speak about it. We just play, man.
Yeah.
And so it's nothing for me to say.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Our boys gonna be ready.
So
That's
just what it
good.
is.
11 o'clock. Got that. Good. Have the
11
cheerleaders.
National Game
We're
Day.
trying a public address. Yeah.
Yes. So 11
yeah.
a.m. at the A field, man.
Yes.
Come on.
So he's
out.
also athletic director.
Yes. Come on out, support. Your Chester Clippers. Shout out to Coach Karen, Coach Val, with our cheerleaders, the best in PA, man. The very best.
Let's talk real quick. Can we go a little bit over? A little bit?
He's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Coach Clancy, 31 years. Now, how's he? And I'm going to ask you if you've ever.
I was 10 years old when he started coaching,
And then I'm going to talk to you,
just
Coach,
think-
about Clancy.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think he just built a foundation. I think Mr. McFadden was the coach before him. Or Mr. Connor.
I think it was Dan's dad,
Yeah.
Jim, and then before that, McFadden,
Yeah.
who was the coach when I was at Nether Providence.
Yeah.
The
So-
raspy voice,
Yeah,
Jimmy Mack.
Yeah, he's nuts. And I don't know, like, Mr. Clancy's a man of few words, okay? When he talks, he means it, and he had a lot of talent, but he built that foundation where when people win, people want to be a part of a winning team. Absolutely. So when people are winning, you get more people that come out, right? Mm-hmm. So it was just one of those things. You had to turn the program around a little bit. And I don't know, you said 91's the first year. I mean, you had like Corey Mont, you had Ike Jones, you had Matt Conway, you had guys that played big-time Division I football in your program. So if you can't win with guys like that and build around Tony Branch, you got guys that you don't, because you're not from here.
Yeah.
Like Dave would know because he's like genius when it comes to sports. He sleeps and talks
stays on
about
his
this stuff.
feet,
So
man. There's nothing wrong with it.
he just knows how to win. And even in his down years, like people would always badmouth him. Like, we're a run-first football team in Strath Haven. We're going to run the ball and we're going to turn up real estate and we're going to tell you to stop us.
Still doing the wing T, right?
And we still do the wing T. Not many teams do that. But when you have a kid at quarterback like Sam Milligan, he's an elusive athlete. Like, he's good. Like, you utilize that. You got kids like Chase Nagel that can get up and down the sideline fast. Throw him the ball.
How many
You know what I mean?
How many kids out Haven this year?
How many what?
Kids on the roster.
I don't know.
Was Chester
Probably
about
40, 50 maybe.
Chester 50, Coach?
So
Right now,
you
yeah.
talk about rosters, right? Like,
Right.
And I remember talking to Mike Connor and Dan Mulhern like last year. Like I'm really numbers like JV's JV, right? So excuse me, JV's going to play on Mondays, but you need a good JV team to give you a good look.
Absolutely.
But you also need a scout team to help the JV players out too, because then you can really run two lines. So if you only have 42 kids, it's hard because some of those kids are hurt. You can't do this and that, and you're talking like you're winning district championships with 40 some kids. So Clancy had the ability to have kids that we had like 60, 70 kids on our team when I played.
Yeah.
So that was another plus. Kids wanted to play, so you had the numbers.
Right.
And as the years went on, the numbers depleted, right? So kids don't want to play sports anymore. They want to play with their iPhones and PlayStation. So he got lucky, you know, with the players, the pool of players that he had to pull from. And then like when it got hard is when the numbers came. When you're like, oh my God, are we going to have a football team this year? Or like, are we going to win a game?
Truly, we're seeing that. You know, in this era, we're really seeing that right now. Whereas a lot of students who really choose to say, you know what, I don't want to play any sports. I'm a gamer now. I just want to play a game.
I could be on TikTok and make millions of dollars. It's stupid.
That stuff must be like addicting because I know some people into that TikTok. It's I don't even know what it is really. But then the games I would never. I'm on my computer a lot, but I'm doing a lot of histories. It's similar to, like what I do, trying to get the archives and stuff like that. But that's more it's more sports news related, whatever, sports stuff. But there's other stuff. I don't know, man. I don't have any kids, so
I hate that stuff. Like my oldest is 10.
Yeah.
And like we were raised outside.
Landon, right?
So Landon,
Absolutely.
yeah. So like he's like, oh, can I play PlayStation? What's PlayStation? I don't know what that is. I don't own any of that stuff. Yeah. So it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, you got a bike.
My buddy James, the Peach.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, tell us about that, Coach.
So James stayed. I mean, listen, man, walking almanac. That guy.
Well, he knows who I am. I love that guy. He's fun.
He said, Dave Central High. I can't read. Rich
Drayton.
Oh, the head coach.
Yes.
So you know him, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Have we played them recently?
We haven't played Central.
Okay. And you play Bartram.
Yes,
you
we got Bartram.
What a great! He's done a great job there.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, Jim.
So, yeah, we have Central then Bartram. So
right. One game at a time. I know.
Absolutely.
But how's it? All right. I was going to ask you. Maybe I'll get you on another show. I mean, without because I would like to talk like how's Central League. Who's
it's hard to pick, man. Ridley, you hear a lot of. It's always like Ridley. Like they had a good year last year. They almost beat North Penn in the playoffs.
They beat
or
them.
Something. What?
Beat North Penn.
Did they?
Yeah, and then they played Coatesville. I announced the game. It was District 1 semi.
Fault.
There you go.
I get that confused. Like,
Tubby Mills was shut down by the Red Raiders, but then the Red Raiders ran into Garnet Valley the next week. That was
It's one of those things. It's like Garnet's always tough because they got 1 million students that go there, and you can pull 150 kids.
Right.
At Strath Haven, we have 150 kids in our band. If we
Amazing.
have 75 in the band, 75 on the football team, we might have a scout team, just like you, right? Like, so it's one of the things. It's like you got to work with what you got.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy to even say this in this era. It's like like sometimes you don't even have equipment like to give the kids sometimes because of funding and stuff like that. It's like it's crazy, but like if kids want to play, you got to find a way to get them to play, right?
And that's why I appreciate our coaching staff. We had. Over the years, we've had numerous meetings in regards to, how we can, have culture shock in our football program, and we've done some great things. There's still more to learn, still more things to do, but we do believe that players want to come out because we make it fun.
Got to talk about Isaiah Freeman. Played at Strath Haven. Isaiah is Lincoln now. 2 great years at Chester High, playing at the Division II football Lincoln in Chester County. And who's the Chester quarterback this year?
So we have, and shout out to Isaiah Freeman and the family, man. I mean, Isaiah was a great asset to the football program, and I believe that, and we believe that he's going to do very well at Lincoln. But this year we have a freshman, man, and you guys got to just watch him. He's one that I really just sit back and be like, wow, this kid is going to be phenomenal as he matures in the game. Jalen Harris, and
What number does he wear?
I'll let you guys see that.
Number 1.
But yeah, I mean, they're twins, so it's he and his brother.
Duran.
Yeah, and so
Both 6'1" freshmen, 155.
Wow.
yeah, I'm telling
He's
you,
Drew 6'1"?
yeah,
As a freshman?
they have attitudes too.
I
man.
love it. Can I coach there next
love
year?
it. I can't say that on air, and even in public. I mean, even in private, it's one of those like right now we're full coaching staff wise, but always looking for mentors for our players.
There you go.
Guys that
I
will
love
speak.
to see freshmen that play.
So Jalen's
Smart.
ready to go.
He's the guy, man.
Oh, he's the guy.
He's the
Okay.
guy.
If he's saying it, he's the guy.
He's the guy.
Okay.
He's the guy.
All right. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
He's
seeing it.
6'1", 190?
Yeah, he's
No, 150, 154.
Okay.
Right now it says on the roster.
guy.
Peach says 50. I call him Peach out. 53 kids on the Chester Rock. Clarence Armstrong talking some trash.
Yeah.
The legendary.
Hey, man.
Clarence.
Yeah, so
okay.
Ridley is
Are-
supposed to be good this year. That's what I'm saying. So
who said Ridley's supposed to be good?
Peach did.
Oh, Peach. Okay.
Yeah, so, it's like anybody. It all comes down to Friday night. It all comes down to X's and O's. It comes down to execution,
Yeah,
discipline, and
yeah.
mistake-free football. If you can't play mistake-free football, you're not going to win Friday or Saturday.
Absolutely.
It's that simple.
That's really what it is.
So Ridley could be great, but they could jump off sides 50 times and lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're only as good as what you put out on the field.
Yeah. Ridley starts out in Florida.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
I think that's a wonderful
I think
experience.
so.
Well, they got the funding.
I remember
Yeah.
right before the playoffs, Mr. Clancy was talking to me. I call him Mr. Clancy because he was my teacher, and I still have respect for my elders, So he was like, "What do you think about playing Berwick next year?" I said, "That would be phenomenal." He's like, "Well, they reached out," and I said, "We should make a trip out of it. Like go out there, play there, because it would be good for the kids." You know what I mean? Like me and Hollingsworth said the same thing. It was like, "Yeah, we can make a couple days out of it and have a good time."
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, you got the points and this and that." I don't care about that. Like, who cares how many points you're gonna get for the playoffs? If you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
You don't get the points that week. Hopefully, the people that beat you lose 3 or 4 games. So it only
That's just what it is, man. I think if you're able to give your student athletes an experience, man, that's what it's
huge.
about. Give your
Going
student
to Florida is huge.
give them an experience. If you can do it, if you have the backing, the boosters to help,
Yeah, the finances to do it.
make it an experience for your student athletes.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
Coach Bell, the Eagles. You're like in tight with them, man. Tell us about your relationship with the Eagles, how that started. That's unbelievable, as Dickie V would
All
say.
glory to God, man. I just, his person's there that is a gentleman by the name of Dan. He's from D.C. as well. And that's not how we know of each other. It was more so of a business, contact. And, after having that contact with him, we just started talking about the needs for our student athletes in the city of Chester, especially for football. And next thing you know, man, it was like I never said no to he might have had a coaching seminar. I was like, I'll be there. We have, this workshop, I'll be there. Everything they did, I just wanted to be there so I can sponge their structure. My pastor said to me some time ago, he was like, man, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, he said, I would go there as a fan. He said, I know you went there for something different. I said, I did. I went there for organizational structure. The way that we operate in our program, structure, that's it. If it's not structure, I'm really upset. And so that's what our student athletes need. They need structure. So that's, when we talk about anything I talk about with the Eagles is about business, and I'm there to sponge up whatever they tell me or they show me regarding how they structure their programming. I'm there with a pen and
Yeah,
pad.
that's awesome.
Now, you're from Washington, D.C. originally. Are you?
He's a Redskins fan.
Yes, I am.
Because I think Marcella.
Yeah, absolutely.
I keep thinking she's your sister. But that's
Oh,
it's a
man,
mom.
I appreciate
okay,
that.
but
Mom Duke's
there you go.
staying young.
There you go. Hopefully she still lives down there, right?
Yes,
All right,
absolutely.
but it's not that far. Maybe on a Saturday she
What's
can
the
come
name
up.
of the team now? The Commanders? You're a Redskins fan, right?
All right, so
Redskin. I don't know who that.
so how do
that's
you?
horrible, man.
You had to root for the Eagles, then, right?
I do root for the Eagles.
Oh, okay,
Your
there
wife
you go.
probably roots for the Eagles.
She does.
She's a huge Eagles fan. She's from Chester.
Yeah, she roots for the
Yeah.
Eagles. I root for the Eagles.
You-
I listen. Born and raised in D.C. Let's not get that mixed up. Redskins, Commanders. I'm not.
The Redskins.
They messed me up when
Young,
they say
that
Commanders.
kid, I
was like,
that.
what is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I think all that's hocus pocus.
well, there's a lot of people in the town of Chester that are not Philadelphia sports fans.
They like the Dallas
Eagles,
Cowboys.
yeah. Well, Peach Howard is
Peach is a-
Peach giant and Peach
You
is
can't-
giant
and I tell them this
and
all the time, it's
Steelers.
cheating. You can't have two teams, man. It's either
I know.
one or the other. So
All right,
You're in that
Lafettus
Peach-
Terry and I almost went at it. I said, Lafettus, you're from Chester, Philly guy, and Lafettus said, no, there's something, and I forget.
Terry
he got
all
deep
messed
about.
up like in the Cowboys, man. I don't get
There's a lot of Cowboy. Derek Spence.
Yeah.
I think
Derek's my
LaFennis
guy,
is a
but not the
Cowboys
Cowboys.
fan.
No, I'm
LaFennis
not
is
sure
a
what
Cowboys
Lafettis is.
fan.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Oh.
I remember him being a Cowboys
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
He talks about it all
He
the
talks
time.
a lot of.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
So what? You're not on Facebook.
No,
So you're on the. What's the other thing?
I just got back on Instagram.
Oh, so you see stuff on there too.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, so but anyway, but I mean I was just curious because you're being from DC, and I remember hail to the Redskins and the Hogs.
Yeah.
Were you old?
And,
Yeah,
and,
all
that- and that's
online.
and that's truly one of the reasons why I dislike the Commanders. Like, where's the tradition? You know, it's kind of like you come here and you just try to change Sea Pride and all. Like, you can't do that. You
can't do-
It's the tradition.
Well, it's funny because Coatesville Red Raiders, we're still the Red Raiders, but they changed what school? Radnor.
What are they now?
The Raptors.
What?
The Radnor
This is
Raptors.
crazy.
And there was a team in Chester County, I forget. Unionville. They were the Indians now. I don't even know what they are now. Unionville High School. But anyway, yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but it is what it is. You can't control it, you know. But anyway, so the Washington football team, you know, and your mom, I think your mom is a big Redskin Commander fan.
Absolutely, man. When I was young, my mom took me to my first ever professional game, man. She got tickets off the radio, and she flew me out. I think I was 8 years old. Flew me out to San Fran, man. We saw the Redskins play the 49ers, man. It
Joe
blessed me.
Montana.
Oh, that blessed me, man.
Is that Theismann? Theismann was quarterback there. Or was it
It
Rippin?
was Montana. It was Montana.
But who's the quarterback for the Skins? They were the Skins back then.
Sheesh. I can't even.
Well,
tell
they
you.
had
Mark Ripken, I think.
Theismann and Rippin came in,
Mark
and
Ripken.
because they won their share of championships. And the Hogs and Joe Jacoby. I remember. Well, I was on the radio in Carlisle for 4 years, and that's where the Redskins trained.
Great tradition, man.
Yeah, Carlisle. I could go on and on about that. And then I was in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and they're big. James Madden, where that is, he played down there, and they were big Redskin fans. Hail the Redskin, hail DC. So I was just curious. I was just.
It's just a shame that they're not the Redskins, but they're the
That's
Redskins
tough,
to
man.
me. And they're the
That's
Redskins.
tough. I mean, I won't change the things that I
think
have.
those announcers they got to watch what they say. If they say Redskins, and maybe they'll get. I don't know.
I don't think
that's-
they're going to fire Tony Romo. He's one of the best to do it. I'm not a huge Cowboys fan, but I'll
he
tell you
is
what.
good.
He's a good announcer.
He's a damn good announcer.
I like him.
Troy Aikman, all the ex-Cowboys are good announcers.
I like those guys. I love.
He calls the plays before they even happen. Tony Romo's like
yeah.
the best.
He's
Yes.
funny, man.
And
Unbelievable.
Greg Olson's doing a good job too.
Is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's funny.
So anyway, we could go on and on.
This is a good-
John
this is a
Pierre
good,
Bryce, thank you. I mean, this is a great. I loved it. I could sit back and
Yeah, I did
not
too.
talk. Chris Edwards, Strathaven, 2000 grad with Jameer. And right after you said, the Rashid boys were playing, and
There he goes.
Chester has only played
man.
Strathaven one time ever
What, football?
in football. Yeah.
When?
What year was that?
I had Peach. I'm gonna have to. Your Marcella's saying something. Can you read that up there?
She said the name may change, and we're still a fan. All right, Mom.
All right. Now, what's your question? I lost my train of thought here. Chris,
What?
you asked me a question. I forget what it was.
When Chester played
Oh,
Strath.
I think it was like an 84, 85. And you know what? I am going to research that. Peach was actually, for a half a year, about 5 games, he was head coach Chester High.
Yeah.
2002, 2003 season.
Look, Peach just answered 1996.
Whoa! And Strathaven.
Peach, was Matt Conway there?
Chester beat him. Yeah.
Really?
Tell him, Peach. Yeah, Chester beat him. I'm
Matt
looking at
Conway's the player of the year.
So Chester beat him in 96. Wow. All right, I'm going to look
Hold on,
that
Chester
up.
beat Strathaven in 96?
Yeah.
Had to be on a Saturday.
Well, I'll look it up. All right, Chris.
Somebody said 95.
Okay.
Oh, it is? Yeah, he said 95.
Oh, that's my PIAA state champ. There you go. There you go. His father was an absolute legend. We can go on about track and field, whatever. All right, everybody, thank you very much, guys. LaDonte Bell, Chester High, year number 7. Chris Edwards, Strathaven, great. State champ and an NCAA Division I AA champ. And I hope this is a great show. I really appreciate it.
You can always invite me back.
Yeah, this is a great.
And I'm going to do some history tonight. I'm going to check that Strathaven. It'd be nice to see them meet. It would be nothing against the other teams, but that would be a great matchup. And in basketball, they've hardly met too. Said
SUNY Blackwell kicked the field goal to win the game.
There you go.
Remember this, man.
Oh, Peach? He lived it. He was,
Those two?
Yeah.
Just walked
but Peach, actually, I was away for a long time. So the basketball, but Peach has been.
Yeah.
It's
Walking almanac, man.
Yeah, he's been there forever. I remember when he coached.
Him and Jeremy Treatment actually announced on the radio.
It's football on the radio.
It was, or was it Steve
commercial.
Scalish? Steve Scalish. We used to have a radio station here in Chester, Delaware County. 1590 AM carried a lot of games, and Peach announced he was played by, I think he was the analyst for, if I'm not mistaken, Steve Scalish when Chester played Kobe in the District 1 semifinals.
Wow.
No, District 1 championship 95 guaranteed. I could go. And then they met twice in 96, and we can go on and on. We really could. Jean-Pierre, I would love to get your story sometime. You've got okay. He's a great one there, man. Great.
Well, listen, come on out. I was saying, I thank you for the opportunity, Dave. Come on out on Saturday as we take on Central Lancers, man, 11 a.m. at the A field.
I want Peach on this show, hopefully.
I'm going to come to that game.
Yeah, come on out.
Are you going to come out?
I got to get someone to watch my kids, but I'll go.
Bring them.
Yeah, you don't want my youngest one there. He'll be
Landon.
No, Colin.
Oh,
no.
I haven't met him yet.
Oh, no. You'll know him.
Okay. And his dad, Harry Edwards, at Father Judge, great basketball player.
Okay.
And baseball player. Had some battles
I think
with
he was a better baseball player than he was basketball.
St. James, who could talk. All right, Jean-Pierre, thank you very much. Everybody out there in TV and Radio Land, everything's on the archive YouTube, so I'll send you guys the links, and you can check it out. And everybody, cmpradio.net. Dave Burman, see you later.